best month of the year. October! It's witchy season. It's the season where we get to like go through the forest with our capes and like be dramatic about everything and whisk through the village, and there's fog and leaves, and I love October. So thrive my soul, October. We're back, 2022. Tarot and Oracle predictions for the year, doing our monthly edition. There is an overall big picture reading for 2020. There's just a plain old intuitive video about 2022. I was misspoke a minute ago, 2022. So we talked about it intuitively and we just gabbed, and then we started our tarot readings for the whole year. So if you haven't, look, there's all the other months of the year. You can check them out and save them in a playlist and go back and reference them throughout the year. I save them and I put them aside for myself, and I refer back to them all year, and they're a great reference because it's a great sense of comfort when I'm like, okay, this was always going to happen and this is all playing out to my benefit and advantage, and I can navigate my way through this. So it's everything's going to be okay. And it's been a really good year. It's just been a year of hard work. It's been a year of patience, of endurance, but also exciting new beginnings, and like, you know, the fear of being in a new situation and going, you know, deeper and going beyond, you know, what we know and what we've experienced before. And that theme does continue into October, and where the shadow is returning, and we're, you know, going inward again, and we're thinking about the year, and we're starting to think about how we're finishing the year and all that we've accomplished, and we're rounding it into December at this point. So, and from what it looks like, it looks really good, and October is going to come with so much magic, and I'm excited. So we're still in the forest. We're well into the forest, but I love like all of this magic of the aurora borealis and this rainbow hue. The promises that we have been striving for they have been the banner over us all year. I am my beloved's and he is mine. His banner over me is love. That is the banner over us in what we live and move and have our being in. It is love, and it is the full spectrum of expression of our lives, the full potential, the full, you know, experience of satisfaction and pleasure and feeling alive and situated and stable and content. It's that harmonious feeling that's coming towards us this year. So there's shadows and fearful parts of the forest, but in a way it's kind of, that's what's the fun of it, because it's that spooky haunted house kind of feeling where we do it to make sure we know we're still alive. So the scary part of the forest is pretty exhilarating sometimes, and overall it's a very magical place with a lot of experience and wisdom to come from it. So next we have raccoon. Raccoon, I would say that we need to be careful not to be wearing any masks. Don't wear masks. Be honest. Be authentic. Don't be a trickster. Raccoons, what else about raccoons? Raccoons, no, they're resourceful. They know how to find what they're looking for. And they upcycle. They're in the earth. Okay, there we go. Rabbit, raccoon. Talented, shadowy, and hiding. Don't hide. Don't hide who you are. Don't hide behind a mask. Let your talents be seen, because you're really honing in your talents. So don't shy out of the spotlight. If people are like starting to give you attention about like how great you are at something, or like something that you're doing or whatever, like don't be afraid of like all of a sudden being out there and exposed with positive attention, and then being like, oh my God, someone's gonna hate me for this. Like that moment will come, and like don't let it steal your joy. Don't let it steal your thunder. Don't let it steal your spotlight, and don't let it steal all the confidence that you've worked so hard to build up again by the sweat of your own brow that people have broken down in you from the past. You know better now. You will not let people tear down your confidence. Your boundaries are firmly in place. Validation is not something you need from the outside world anymore. You are sovereign in yourself. You are interdependent, and you are not repeating that codependent past. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favor. Other times it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, competitive, starving artist. Interesting. Competitive, starving artist. It's like, don't compare. Don't compare your talent, your vision, your creativity, what you're creating against anyone else's timeline, against anyone else's bank account, whatever. Do not compete with the Joneses. You are only here to compete and be your best self, compete with your own self. And that raccoon, don't be the starving artist. Don't look outside of yourself for validation. And don't create based on pressure to create. Don't perform based on pressure to perform. Be really authentic. Don't limit yourself to a caricature or an idea of something that you think you need to be, because that's what that looks like usually. Like, don't be something that you're not. Just be you. Like, the way that you are is how the best you is anyway. So be that thing. So don't try to be something that you're not. Don't express yourself in a way that isn't really like true to you. Just be yourself. It's like, what the fuck is that? Like, just be yourself. Because you don't need attention. You don't need, like, you know that artist that's like pretentious and they're full of crap and they're like so showy and there's so much bravado. Like, don't do that. Don't be that. Just do what naturally comes to you. I always feel like when I'm making these videos, like at first before I warm up, I feel like so not real. Like I'm like not in my own cadence or speed or whatever until I can like just take a few breathers and like have it roll in for a few minutes and just relax into my natural whatever it is. Next, we have Four of Wands. So this is great because this is that sense of peace and harmony, celebration, big things, the next phase in life. You know, maybe you have it's an upleveling and it's a deepening in a relationship. It's like taking the relationship to the next level, taking all of your efforts and everything into the next level as you finish out this year, and you're like, wow, I've actually gotten a lot of the manifestations that I was trying to get. And it's like, okay, cool, you're in that harmonious phase. Like, enjoy it. Don't skip over it. Savor, you know, maybe take the rest of the year slowly and really like savor all that you've come through and all that's happening and all that's coming into form. And have that, like, don't have that starving artist where it's like, well, I've got to make it happen. Like, it's like, no, it's like, that's the artist wants that freedom. That's why they're the bohemian. So relax into that celebratory time, that time to really, relax into peace and harmony and happiness and goodness and parties. It's like party time. Two of Cups, relationships, partnerships, deeper, a deeper commitment. It's sometimes this is a new friend that's just like, oh my God, we're like long lost soulmate friends. Sometimes this is the coming together of a romantic couple. Sometimes it's taking a current relationship deeper or into the next step. It's also a message that says if there's any turbulence in a relationship, that this is worth working on, that this is a relationship that should be continued and nurtured because there's still a lot here. Behind it is the Fool. It's like, give those a credit for a new day, go forward, unburdened by the past, like a fresh baby who doesn't have the fears from the past driving the ship. Like, this is the trusting soul, that kid who's like has beginner's luck because they go out and do something that they're not prepared for, but they don't know what to expect yet, so they don't know to be scared. It's like, have that like naivete where it's like, yay, like we're gonna go out like a little spring chick. Because keeping that sense of lightness and playfulness and like, okay, it's like a fresh start, and like we're not hauling all the baggage from the past with us, is going to help us move forward a lot smoother. The chariot, we're going to get a lot more momentum and a lot more smoother traction if we're not like carrying, I don't know, 17 tons of the past with us. And then this is like kind of like, what is this? 9 of Wands. This is that last stretch, like that last tiring staircase up to face all of that stuff, like the final showdown, confronting all of that baggage one last time, one last haul, that last ditch effort, the last few steps to that finish line. It's just this is where you're tired, but this is where you're breaking patterns. This is where the patterns are coming up and they're showing themselves to you, and you're like, I'm so exhausted, I cannot go through this again. And you're like, no, I've had enough, I'm breaking the pattern. And like the next one is 10 of Wands, which is like, take this job and shove it. Like, I've had enough, I've had it, I'm done with this. Like, this is how, what gets you there. This is like the 9 of Wands moment. So again, remember the sustainer all year has been warning us, like, don't save your energy. Like in Gattaca, he was like, I never saved anything for the swim back. He was always like, I don't know how you did what you were able to do. And he's like, I never saved anything for the swim back. It's like all year it's been like, save something for the swim back. Okay, it's gonna be a long journey, so save it. And then we have the moon. The moon, working with phases of the moon. Facing fears. This is 3 and 2 added together is 5. It's a moment of conflict of where you're like, okay, you're butting up against that growth edge, and either you have conflicting agendas or there's some kind of like conflict with the 5. And in the moon, there's something about like things that aren't fully visible, facing illusions, facing fears, things that are hidden coming into the light. So it's about, taking an honest look at things and seeing through the murky, shadowy, dark distortions and really seeing the truth. That triple goddess, she's wearing this necklace that I basically ordered like a few months ago, but I think there was something happened and I think it got lost. I need to like follow up with that again. But yeah, that amulet looks just like the one I ordered. It's so interesting. But yeah, so she is like, again, the maiden, the mother, and the crone, the phases of the moon, the moon cycles. Like, get in touch with the moon this year. Be aware of the moon. The moon governs water, Cancer. It's the divine feminine. It's that astral realm of... And on the tree of life, it's the place where everything comes together before it comes into fruition. So it's like that meeting, that one last meeting place. And it's the next level of consciousness from our physical place. It's like the reflection of the sun, so that we can see it without burning. We can look at it without burning our eyes. We can look at that illumination in a way that's a reflection, so it's not such a direct jolting, burning experience. It's gentler. This is also a source of nourishment and light for the world. It's just a gentler source. There's different ways to understand the layers and depths of the moon. That's just some of them. And then we have release. This is the Death card. And I think that this is about like the transformation is really complete, and it's time, like it's gone so well this year that we've gone into like a mini up-leveling even within the year, and it's time to like walk away from this in-between period, and we're really moving into a new cycle again next year. So it's like I think we're moving out of that in-between phase that was that other card where it was about the moon, Hecate. And now we are in the full moon period where like the culmination is happening and the cycle is complete. And now it's like, all right, phasing up again, like next level. And this is about the 7, about, you know, addressing those patterns, that final, like, you know, like really looking at those behavioral patterns that are coming up to be dealt with, standing your ground, perseverance, pushing through, careful not to get defensive, but do maintain your boundaries, do maintain healthy boundaries. And that is for October. So a lot of magic. Yeah, I think something really exciting and life-changing could happen for the better, to improve your life in October. October could come with a really special magical gift. So we'll be looking forward to that. Oh my God, because like 9, like September was that, the big 9 moment where we've been talking about the movie. The 9 is the getting the big break, that big, like the thing that happens where the hero, you know, has that plot point at the end of the 3rd act where they have the face off and they get the big break that they get to take back and live in the harmony and abundance of the 10. So we are here at 10. We are here at 10 in October. So it's, you know, we're getting into these completions of these cycles, and the 1 and the 3 of the 13 of the death card is 4. And so it's like a really solid completion, I feel like, is what we're headed towards. So there's something culminating, and it's really exciting. And so good things are on the horizon. All right, we're going to be doing November and December.